good night, and welcome to the conversation. I am your co-host Alistair Sampson, and with us tonight we have Christopher Crossley, aka Mr. Crossy, sir, aka the gentleman himself. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Yeah, good evening, one and all. Good evening. I am fine, man. I like to see Peter Prime refuge kind of showers, chance of isolated thunder showers.
Yeah, cease like a moderate man.
Because I mean, the last what 2 weeks has been hectic,
Oh yes.
and as you know, we weren't even able to have the conversation for those 2 weeks as well.
Mhm.
Life kind of took over for a bit, so you know, it's just something that we have to see happen and push through, which is something I think everybody goes through from time to time.
Of course. Yeah, it comes in like that, and I mean, we do have a lot of things going on, but we still like to make sure that we connect with you, the audience, with respect to being on the conversation. So again, good night to everyone who are connected even at this time. But before we get started into the session, we like to call it Christopher's Crossley's COVID check-in, brought to you by the letter C.
Well, we already started that, basically.
Yeah.
So I mean, I already shared it. Let people know how last 2 weeks has been for you.
Oh, all right, no problem. It has been a bit hectic. As I say, different areas in terms of transition in business and work, schooling, a number of different things have been going on, and it's a matter of just trying to maintain that balance. Sometimes things may tip the scale in a particular way, and they need to be able to do a bit of course correction, and that happens in life. And I mean, it's not to say that the gentlemen of mantle are immune to shifts that happen, and some certain signs of uncertainty that may occur. It's just a bit of course correction that we need to do and to get back on track. So I mean, that's exactly what went on in terms of certain things from my side here. Took a little while, and I mean, you spoke about it as well too, in terms of basic shifts that were happening as well on your end, and a number of things as well too. All right, so and mind you, I had to put in my shameless plug in, and I don't mind that. Sorry, not sorry. People, don't forget the fellas. I have to make sure I mention the fellas as well too. So Monday on TV6, don't miss out the fellas at all. 8
Yeah,
p.m. 8,
8:30 p.m.
8 p.m. here,
Yeah.
right? Don't miss it out. Christopher Cross is one of the guys on the panel there. So you're getting him on live television, you're getting him on streaming services, you say good to go. All right.
Everywhere you go, there we are, right? As they say.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about, man.
Of course. And I mean, separate from getting the opportunity to be one of the hosts and the fellas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this last 6 months so far, I should say, has been very eventful.
Ooh.
From fellas to starting a new business, a new consultancy service,
All right.
and it's amazing when you see all the things that you were planning start to materialize.
Oh yes.
And yes, there will still be some things left to be done. However, this is where you do what is humanly possible until such time. All right, a lot of us pause, we consider, we over measure. All right, I always say yes, it's good to measure twice and cut once, but
Mm-hmm.
people tend to not, um, they procrastinate a little too much. And there's already a lot of things that you need to do as is to get going, and that is where we actually talking tonight, where we
Mm-hmm.
want to help people consider the things they need to do going into 2022.
Oh yeah.
Right, like for instance, one of the things I'm still setting up for my new business is our bank account, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is something we had to apply for a appointment for,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that appointment is for December.
You see?
Right? So imagine if I didn't actually do the application to get
Mm-hmm.
that done. When I did get to it, it may have been January,
Exactly.
right? So this is just an example of doing what you're supposed to do at a point in time, so that there isn't much of a further delay in getting what you need done, right? So that's why
Mm-hmm.
tonight's topic is, mind your mind. We're looking at the things that you need to do from now to more or less prepare yourself for 2022. And if you've been an avid follower of the conversation, you know we would have spoken about creating to-do lists, creating habit lists, right? Looking at the habits that you have been doing to more or less create that lifestyle that you want. Because people, if it is there's anything in your life that you think you are faltering on or taking long on, the number one thing I tell anybody do, stop and look at your habits.
Yeah.
What are the things that you are doing? Because there are definitely things that you need to stop doing, there are things that you need to start doing, and the things that are working are the things you need to identify so you can continue doing it.
That's correct. One of the things that we need to look at as well, and it's a big challenge, I've realized, where persons plan for January or plan for 2022 in January, and they do it, okay, they didn't plan. They say, okay, I want to do this, and just throw it up in the air just like that. There's no true planning or follow through with respect to it. And for those who actually do it, it takes them a month, it takes them a while with respect to doing that, and there's a whole number of challenges that occur when that is happening there. And a lot of times, unfortunately, sometimes 3 months go already within the year and nothing has been really put into place in terms of doing that. And that is why we wanted to have this conversation tonight with respect to persons starting now. We're in October, we have October, November, December. Start now in terms of exactly what it is that you're going to do, and start putting your plans for 2022 and start getting that game plan going. Because unfortunately, for persons who plan in January, they may, if they get 6 months in their plan, they are lucky. Alright, they are really lucky because they're trying to catch themselves and all this sort of things like that. And
Alistair, one sec. Let's do a quick mic check, because they're saying that your volume is a little loud and my volume is actually a little low.
Alright, let me just adjust my volume a little bit. I'll drop mine a little bit there. Let me just see. Your levels should be okay. Yeah. Alright.
Alright, okay, let us know if my volume is better now.
Alright. Good. I think we should be okay there, and I'm just sending up everything. Yep, we're at 100%. Yep.
Alright. Okay.
Alright. Okay, so where will we? Right. In terms of planning and the challenges that persons may come up with respect to that. So, Chris, from your perspective, what is the first fundamental thing a person needs to do to really get the mind right, or to get something going for 2022 right now? What it is a person could do right now with respect to that, from your perspective?
Right. So before we even get to the technical stuff like creating smart goals, I would say do some self-inspection. All right. Nothing is as important as realizing where you are now. And when I say where you are now, in a very holistic way, look at where you are in your finances, look at where you are in your health, look at where you are in your relationships. Because as the person that doing these things will actually contribute to what happens next. All right. I know for men, a lot of men, we are never happy if our finances are not in order. So you'll find that something bothering us there would actually contribute to what we do next. Right? There are a lot of people that are unhappy in their relationships.
Right.
They went through a lot right now during COVID, being at home. Right? A lot of people who would have been encountering more arguments, people who are not used to being inside. So the main thing for me right now, for anybody, is to stop and do some self-inspection. Look and see where you are now and be very truthful, be very honest with yourself. Because being dishonest with yourself at this point is not going to help the next steps. So you're going to be going into the next steps with a deception. Without the true picture.
Yeah, I think there's a good point they brought in there, because I think a lot of times people carry unnecessary baggage into 2022 and want to start things and want to start businesses and this. But if you carry an old baggage with you when you're doing that, in terms of where you are putting your energy, you're gonna find yourself getting burned out really fast. So you have persons who not managing the mental energy properly, not managing the physical or even the emotional or spiritual energy properly, and if it is that they're not doing anything to combat against that, they're going to say, okay, I want to make this money or do this or do that, but they're coming in with that, as some of the trainees will say, the toad feelings into 2022 and going with that in that direction. And that is really unfortunate, because if you go in with that type of mindset inside of 2022, it's going to be very difficult for you. It's going to be very unlikely that you're going to hit the goals that you're really going to hit, unless they are really low expectation goals that you are going for.
But I don't think people ever really have low expectation goals, though.
It's not goals.
Well, let me not say that, because some people may not even realize that they're aiming low and continuously hitting. Right? A lot of people aim low and continuously hit and actually think that the goal that they want to achieve is actually being achieved. No, I'm not degrading or devaluing anybody's goals.
Correct.
Don't get me wrong, but there is a difference between dreaming big and going big to allow yourself to grow into that person that you need to become to achieve that goal, than staying in your comfort zone and just keep it within arm's reach. It's completely two different things. So you'll find people always talk about dreaming big and going big and having big dreams and big goals, but the truth to that is it gives you the space to grow, because the person that you are now definitely may not be the person that is able to achieve the goal. So you're going to grow by learning, you're going to grow by going through the stresses of development in that state. Because even, ask guys who are tall, they usually had a time where that growth spurt happens and their body joints actually hurt. And it's the same thing that happens when you're developing as a person and you come out of that comfort zone. There are times things are literally going to hurt. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing, because you know you're growing.
Right.
But we're so pain averse, but we'll run from it.
True.
Right?
I like the phrase that you use here, pain averse, because I think a lot of times, because of person's mindset, they have a particular objective. And when you start to change your mindset and you change your way of thinking and you manage your energy a lot more effectively, you realize that the goals that you set begins to transfigure and transform into something that will be much brighter and a grander goal than what it is you had in the first place. So a person may have a goal of, well, I want to make $20,000 for this year in profit. But they have this kind of mindset, this type of focus, and this type of baggage that they want to be carrying. And when they start working on themselves in terms of where the energy going, physically, emotionally, spiritually, etc., you realize that the goal may change to, I want to positively affect 200 lives for the month, for the year. And in doing so, they end up making $25,000, $30,000 because their goal was more focused on people, and the profits and these things just so happen to be the icing on the cake as they go along there, because of a shift in how the mindset is. It causes a shift in how your focus and how your goal is as well too. At least I see it from that perspective.
Right, well, here's the thing. Most things without that, well, I should say, when it comes to finance or generating revenue, even with things like trading and making investment and other things, I always tell people the goal is not just to make money.
That's right.
The goal, if you're in trading, the goal of the philosophy, or not philosophy, the psychology behind trading is learn how to make good trades.
Right.
And the byproduct of making good trades is making money.
Correct.
With businesses, learn how to do proper sales technique. And from sales, you make money. But if you go in simply with the idea of money, then you'll find that when you do fall short, you're wondering why. And that is because the action behind it, you're lacking the fundamentals to create the outcome that you want. And a lot of people miss that. Just like creating vision boards.
Yeah.
Put up all the glitz and glamour, the bright stuff you want to achieve, but then the action to achieve it is usually missing. Because you have to envision yourself doing the thing that to get to where you want to achieve. All right? People who want to be speakers, you might put up a picture of somebody giving a TED talk, but are you trying to speak at any other engagement to build yourself up to get to that point.
Right.
People that want homes, you just want a nice big house, they don't follow this guy. They will just drop on a lot in the savannah or whatever, they will not.
Correct.
Are you looking at your finances? Are you looking at saving? Are you trying to do things that put yourself in place? Are you going for an assessment by whether it's any one of those financial institutions to see if you qualify to even own a home of a particular, these are the things, simple things like that, right? The fundamental of what you do, that action to get it, that action to achieve.
Correct.
Is what people need to look at. So if we're talking about all right, you do some self-inspection first, so you know where you are. Right? You start to create that goal. You create the goal, but what is the action in between from going where you are to achieving the goal? You can't skip that step.
Yeah, I think one of the things as well, and I brought it in the discussion as well, why it is you're doing what you're doing in the first place. I know a lot of times people think it's something, like going up and getting from a shaman a purpose or whatever the case may be. But I do believe as well that you need to have a strong motivation and a reason why it is you're doing what you're doing. You may say, okay, I want to make money. Okay, why do you want to make the money? And realize that if you ask why a minimum of 5 times, you realize you start to strip away all the superficial items that you talk as your big why. When you realize that there's certain things to the core. A person may start off talking about well, I want to make plenty money, but when they really get down to it, the why might be that they grew up in poverty and they want to be able to build something, a legacy for their children, so their children don't follow those same steps that they grew up in, as they start peeling away and really getting to the true why. And it's only when people start getting down to the true why itself of why you're doing something, you realize that their motivation, that their motive of what it is to do is going to change, and it's going to take them a better way, or at least help them to last a lot longer in terms of accomplishing their goals. So that's going to be really important.
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, perfect. You guys just give us a mic check, even in the comments how the audio is sounding.
Yeah.
I know I actually realized your volume got a little loud just on the other side, it went back down. So I don't know if there's a short or something touching somewhere, but just let us know in the comments if the audio is fine.
Yeah, let us know if the volume.
So as you mentioned that there, there's a quote, I can't remember who said it, and it's basically, I'm paraphrasing, a man that knows his why will bear any fault. And a man that knows his why will bear any fault. That means you'll find that when you have a genuine root cause, when you have something genuine at your core, you will be more willing to go through the process of achieving it.
You're correct.
You definitely become more willing. When it is you have a solid why, you will go through it. Now, the thing is, the why that you would have had probably in your 20s will change when you're in your 50s. It will change again when you're in your 40s.
Correct.
And so on. So it's not something that is just going to be, permanently fixed as just this one why, because the needs of you in your 20s will change from the needs of you in your 40s. Right? But
correct. It will change.
I actually hope so, right? And you still don't have 20-year-old wives, right? So, but that is the thing, and a lot of people don't consider that as well. Why am I going after this goal? Is it just something surface level, superficial? Because at the end of the day, when you don't get to that point, you're going to just let it go, and then you're going to find yourself, feeling a little aimless at some point. And you don't want that happening.
Yeah, because as the superficial whys, you realize that they are not sustainable. A lot of them are really flighty. It's flighty, and you know to yourself that if you just say, okay, my why is to make $2,000 profit this month. Okay, and you don't make it, what? You're going to fold up and curl up in a corner and cry, oh, well, I can't make it, or, well, that is not for me? Or are you going to dig down to your core and know exactly what is the motivation for getting it through? And
there are some people like that, though. There are some people that will not hit a target in their business and will want to stop work, or will want to shut down their business. They will say, why am I going through all this stress for? And I always, well, I mean, I actually have
Yes.
like I was many persons.
Mhm.
I usually say yes, but you will work 40 years for someone
Mhm.
at a job, right? Not even a job that you like. And if it is you have 2 bad years in your own business, you quit.
Yeah.
And that just don't make sense to me. Give yourself the same chance that you will give your day job.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it, and you have to understand from even this perspective as well too. The same day job that you don't like, the person who owns that job, if they said at that time, here what, I wasn't making profit and just shut down, a number of people, including yourself, going to be unemployed.
Correct.
If it is that the owner of that job had that same mindset that what you have for your venture that you want to go into. So you have to look at it from that perspective, and you realize if it is that you think like that, well, okay, I make a profit in the first 2 months of the business, I'm going to shut down. That's a form of selfishness, because in a way, if it is that you really sustain a business and really build your member, it's not going to be just you alone. If it is that you're really sticking to your guns of exactly what you're going to do, you're going to expand much more, and there's going to be more persons, and it's going to be something that you can actually build as a true enterprise. If it is that if you look at it from that perspective. So again, getting down to your why and understanding what it is that you really want to accomplish is going to be key. Let's just say a person have a big target that they want to get to. What are some of the techniques or paths that people can do to actually get to that? So they may say, I want, by the end of December 2022, I want to make X money or affect X amount of lives. What, from your perspective and from your experience, what does a person need to do to reach there? Do they just go gung-ho? What from your perspective?
But a lot of people do gung-ho, hats off to all ladies. But, those should be necessary. Right. The thing with doing that is we need to get very specific, and I think this is where we could actually introduce what is called the SMART goals.
Mm-hmm.
All right, S being for specific, right? So you need to sit down and actually write this out. So S for specific. You want to set real numbers, right, and have real deadlines, right? Don't just be general with it. I like saying I want more sales. No, literally say I want to make X amount by X date. So you actually have real numbers with a real deadline. All right. M is for measurable.
Yep.
Right. So make sure your goal is actually trackable. Make sure it's something that you can look back on and make notes about to see where you reach. There's a thing called KPIs, key performance indicators. So you'll actually know which point that you're at in achieving your goal. Right. So don't just hide behind certain things like saying in social influencer or your brand engagement and stuff like that. That is generalizing it as well.
Yeah.
You want actual key points, key indicators of where you're going, so you can actually track yourself. All right. Then A is for attainable. Right. Work towards a goal that is challenging but possible. And that's some people might say challenging may feel impossible, but challenging that means that you actually have to do a little more work. Sorry to tell you, you just need to do a little more work. Alright? You may have to go a little extra hour at night, or you may have to get up, wake up a little extra hour earlier to get this work done. So it may be challenging, but it's possible, right? Don't try to do everything in one night, of course. Right, because you do have that deadline that you set to move towards. R would be setting realistic goals. Right, that is something a lot of people need to do. Let's be very honest about the goals that you are setting. Let's be very honest of what you want and what is yourself and your team actually capable of doing.
Correct.
Right. You have many things that you still have to address along the way as you do these things. So you don't want to make anything feel like a burden. Right? So you really need to be realistic. Alright? And of course T is for timely or time bound in that sense, where you literally, as you said with S, it means specific. With T, literally give yourself a deadline. Alright? And every day literally work towards that even if it's something small, progress is still small, still progress.
Exactly.
You know you have a deadline, keep working towards that so that you actually hit it. So once again, your SMART goals, something that's specific, real numbers, real deadlines, something that's measurable, so that you can actually track where you reach it, some indicators to show you where you reach, something that is attainable, right? Something that you're actually working towards. It'll be challenging, but remember it's possible. And then it's realistic, be honest to yourself, and time. All right, you have to keep in mind that you have that deadline to meet.
Great.
So that is what I would say actually people need to, you have this big goal, or you want to create this big goal, set those SMART goals. And even to the extent, take that big goal and break it down into smaller actionable tasks.
Exactly.
Apply the SMART goal or the SMART method to those smaller tasks.
Exactly. So for person just getting practical, I mean, we're looking at the year 2022 itself. All right, these are my big goals that I have for the year 2022. What could I break up that I can accomplish in January to March that could add up to the whole year? What could I do from April to June that would match up to that? July to September, October to December. And everything that you do, you have those 90-day burst to see how you're hitting those targets as you go along. So every quarter or every month, you keep on tracking your goals to make sure that you're on the right track in terms of where you're going. I see a question popping up here as well. Yeah.
Should there be some thought on the status of the economy going forward to 2022? Firstly, I'm not an economist. I'm not a financial expert. Let me just put that
disclaimer. Yes.
Of course, always watching the state of the economy, and I think what we do, what a lot of people do bad, is that we leave it up to the powers that be, we leave it up to the government or whoever is the authority at the time to tell us what is going on, right? Instead of doing our own research, because the information is there. Central bank releases information, some financial institution puts out information. So you don't only have to listen to what is said on the day of the budget, but you yourself could actually go and get information. So I think one thing we need to do as individuals, as citizens, right here, we need to actually take charge of certain information coming to us for ourselves, firstly, all right, and start doing our own research and listening to what's going on the ground, all right. And all that to say, yes, always pay attention to the economy going forward. And I would say now for during COVID, especially in the next 3-4 years, if you do some research, you can always tell the trajectory of things that happened during a pandemic. All right, as I said, it's not hidden. You can go and check it out for yourselves, do some research, use Google, it helps, all right? But yeah, we do have to pay attention, because then you will know of your income, the revenue that you are making. You'll also know the shortfalls and shortcomings that are coming, so that you can better prepare yourself, your family, your business for those times. Because, it don't make sense if you feel it's going upon you to know to put measures in place to protect yourself. By that time, it's usually too late.
Yeah, that's too much of scrambling, and scrambling during a chaotic time, it's not a good look. It doesn't help your family, it don't help you, it doesn't help your energy that you put out. Also, other than looking at the economy as well, depending on the direction that you want to go into for 2022, look at the economy, look at the technology that is coming out as well too, that will help you along. Look at the environment that you're in terms of where everything is going along that line. I mean, yeah, we have the politics aspect of it, but look at these things in a larger perspective, and don't look at it as deterrence, but look at it to be determined. All right, in terms of moving forward, look at it as opportunities in terms of what can I do based on how the economy is, based on how technology changes are happening. What could I do? How could I leverage this to go forward? All right.
That's correct.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's very important that we look along those lines and really broaden it as we go along. I hope we answered the question for the person who asked that question there tonight, which is good. I'm glad that we're getting on in that particular area. one of the things I see as important is what you should ask yourself, especially when you are planning for 2022, what support do you need? Because a lot of times we sometimes, I mean, I grew up old school, so I know a show called the Lone Ranger, and a lot of times people don't know what it is, but they're actually acting like the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
You understand? And I think even the Lone Ranger had a sidekick along the way. He wasn't alone all the time.
All the time, correct.
Alright, so
Correct.
I think a lot of times people move like the Lone Ranger, and the support could be people, and the support could be technology or whatever the case would be. You need to look into that, which is very important in terms of the growth. What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
Right. So a lot of people are usually afraid to build teams. I was definitely one of them because I didn't, not to say trust people. I didn't believe people. I didn't like the drive that people have. To me, it was always less than mine. And that is something, I always had a big problem because I'm not going to partner with you if it is your lack of. So for me, I understand where some people have a little issue with teams. However, you can't do this alone. All right, you definitely need to build teams. You definitely need to get help in areas that you need help. All right, so you can stop working in your business and start working on your business. Some people look at it as a cost, but my question always is, you're thinking about if you can afford it, but my question is, can you afford not to? Because you may actually be keeping yourself back by not actually building the team properly, building what you need, and basically just paying a salary or whatever of virtual assistant to get some work done or anything like that, so that you can actually focus on the main things of business, which is getting more sales, getting more visibility, getting more people through the funnel to actually generate more business. But a lot of people hold back because they think, well, I can't afford to hire anyone. The real question is, can you afford not to? And as Alistair mentioned, the thing is, look at the support you actually need going forward, and support sometimes. We're talking about physical support in getting physical things done, but there may be some support in terms of what you need to learn, and this is where you need to improve your skill set in certain areas, right? And there may be some courses you need to take so that you become more knowledgeable in certain areas. And once again, people always say, can I stop and afford to spend X amount, $500 in a course right now? And I'll always say, can you afford not to?
Yeah.
Because that same $500 that you might spend to learn something to help you, take care of your business, you may now save that and have to not pay somebody else or hire or outsource the job, something like that. So, or at least you will be knowledgeable enough so that somebody can take advantage of you in handling whatever part of the business that is. So there are many ways that support is there, right? Support for yourself, one be learning a course or something like that.
Right.
And support as in building a team. A lot of people need to look at what they need to go forward, and they just think it's just about them. No, it's not.
Exactly. And the thing about it, you are not the expert in everything. You may have people who are specific experts in terms of finance. You may have people who are experts, they just love social media, they live on social media, they love doing design for certain images and pictures like that. People are really good at that. Some people are really good at writing up in terms of phrasing anything for advertising. There's a number of things that you look at. And if it is that you want to really bring value to your workplace, don't just look for cheap. Let me just be straightforward with respect to that.
Yeah.
Just because a person puts up one nice filter version on the personal profile picture on Facebook doesn't mean that they're a graphic artist.
Correct.
I'm being honest with you.
Correct.
Just because a person could save a little money on their own real good at one time in a susu doesn't make them a financial advisor. All right, I'm being very straightforward. If it is that you're looking at your business, if you want to get small things done and you can't afford certain subject matter experts, okay, fine, you could deal with that in terms of getting certain things done. But still, as Christopher said before, up your skill. upgrade your skills as you go along. Learn about what the sales and marketing on the social media is. Learn about what it is to do copywriting. That might be something you may want to look at. How do you close a sale in terms of your conversation? All these things like that. How not to be afraid of asking, how not to be afraid of money. Because some people lose in terms of selling something because they don't understand the value of what they have, and they're like, I ain't think you may want to buy this, but I'm selling this here. If you come to me like that, I am afraid to buy from you because you don't have faith in what you have. So it's all of these things that you need to consider and try to build that area there. And your support system doesn't necessarily need to be always persons that are subject matter expert in your business. Sometimes you need people who are in your corner, while you're working. You want to put it, like a boxer. When you're looking at a boxer don't just come in the ring alone. And you have somebody dressing the cut, you have somebody advising, okay, this is what you do in terms of the movement. You have somebody with the spit bucket, you have somebody with the stool, you have somebody making sure that the gloves are adjusted and everything like that. You have somebody rubbing their shoulder and all this kind of thing. It's a number of persons who are in the corner of a box, and sometimes it's like that when you're going into business, like you're going into a fight, and sometimes
you need that person with the spit bucket.
Yeah.
No. It's some hard lashes. Right? You need somebody with that spit bucket.
Yeah, sometimes like this it's your gut punch.
And it's the truth that some people don't even like to hear, but it's the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, every day won't be a sales day. Every day won't be a day that you hit your target. Every day won't be a day that somebody will come in the door. Dude, I tell people, I remember not having business like almost 2 years already, like zero sales, or 1 or 2 that were like very low, $100, $200 type of sales. But 2-year period, and some people aren't ready for those type of days. Those days where you wonder if it makes sense, or if you're already going insane by still doing what you're doing. The whole thing is, you said you have to believe in your goal more than you fear the doubts.
Correct.
More than the question marks that will come up. You have to believe in your business, your abilities, your uniqueness, your everything over every other negative voice, whether internal or external. Because I can guarantee you there are people that will watch you and say, why are you still doing that? That ain't working. Why are you still here? Granted, there are points in times where you actually have to make a check and see what you're doing needs some adjusting. But it doesn't mean you quit. It means you rest. It means that you do some more inspection. It means you readjust, you pivot. It means that you make changes necessary. Alright, you're not going to just continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. No.
Correct.
Right? But if the truth is, every day is not going to be 100% for you. It's not.
Yeah. And honestly, I believe this pandemic brought that to light so vividly for persons who have had their business and had to do course correction on their business during this particular time. I actually know of a training institution who their main business is running programs, and people come into a classroom, and their classroom for running this normally has a capacity of 50 people, and they have 50 people per semester in terms of how they do this stuff, and the price of their course is quite high. When the pandemic hit, persons won't come into class, so therefore you had nobody there at the time. What do you think they did? They shifted to online, and they realized with online, I don't have a limit with respect to how many people I have in my class. So therefore, I don't have that overhead. I could actually drop the price of the courses because I know more people will be able to come in, and that is exactly what they did, and it is actually helping them right now. They're actually able to run the courses with much more people. It's costing them less. It's costing persons less to do the course, and
it works like that, and a lot of companies actually made it affordable.
Mm-hmm.
so that people could get to learn things. Locally, there were a lot of places that offered free courses,
Mm-hmm.
and then there were a lot of places that offered discounted courses, right? Because they realized that people would have need to pick up new skill sets going forward.
Correct.
A lot of courses, I took some note of that, and then there always stuff online, edx.org, there's Coursera, there's Udemy. All right, there are always these things that are available. There's even a course that I'm finishing, that went from $396 to $13. 13. From 396 to 13. Swipe my card.
Yeah.
Because I know when that time is up, I hello.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Exactly. And I mean, there's so many things that you could do out there. You could do courses. You could buy books. You could apply your learning. This opportunity that is here right now is so ripe. It is so ripe in terms of what you could do. And I mean, this is something that we have been saying consistently on the conversation. Look at the opportunities that are out there right now. Persons, even in the food business, they have shifted from dining to delivery, and they have upped their service with respect to even delivery as well to some of these places.
Some didn't have none at all.
Yeah, you know,
Had none at all, right?
yeah, that's some businesses, unfortunately, they say, well, don't worry, man, when the pandemic comes, don't worry, in about a week time we'll open back. And
Yeah. 18 months later.
it's 18 months later and counting.
Correct. Granted, restaurants and stuff are opening up now for
Mhm.
dining with the restrictions and whatnot. But I mean, that time period of having to, we are just having to change certain things so that we can actually keep going,
Mhm.
pay the staff, not lay off workers. These are things that are usually not good for an economy. All right.
Correct.
You know, one person's expense and another man's income. So if get people being laid off and less money turning in the system, that is very, very bad. Okay, so that is why we were hoping that these things get lighter, that people would ease up so that businesses can start to get back, right? But yeah, a lot of businesses had no choice but to adapt, to pivot, right? And that created other opportunities for many others. So even that restaurant business, as you mentioned, who needed to create delivery, right? People started using food drop and all these other, people who probably drive privately, who not driving anymore, like the buses for schools and stuff.
Mhm.
They picked up, driving for caterers or people that are selling lunches, these type of things. There's only Chinese restaurants in doing it, but I don't know. But if anybody have delivery Chinese, let me know. I've never seen it, right?
Sure.
But a lot of these companies adjusted,
Mhm.
and it created more business for other people, right? So that the economy could still have some motion in it,
Correct.
right? The opportunities are there, as Ms. Dates is saying. Yes, correct. The opportunities are enormous. It is.
Yeah, and I mean, based on even when we started off in the beginning, the first thing that we dealt with, even before we started talking about opportunities, is in terms of making a mindset adjustment, in terms of offloading the type of negative energy and the mindset that you're having, that this October to December, this is the opportunity. Think of this last quarter here to detox. Use this opportunity to do a mental detox as well, to a mental and emotional and spiritual detox as well, because you don't need, it's have certain burdens you don't need to carry into 2022. And
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
and don't say, well, I will drop it January 1st 2022, that is my New Year resolution, like that.
You know what they're waiting for? They're waiting for the different church banners to go up. the headline, don't take it into 20, don't take it with you in the new year. They're waiting for those little banners to go up instead of taking the initiative themselves.
See it through for 2022. Hey, that good slogan, boy.
They're waiting for those things. So yes, now it's time to thank these jobs as well. So, as you're saying that, it comes back once again to what I said first. With doing some self-inspection.
Yeah.
It comes right back to that. Alright? If you need to take that time off to look at yourself and adjust the things that you need to go forward, Right? Yes, we see in detox, everybody talk about detox. So, we're not talking about paying some cookie must slice in some water and lime. We mean by what you need to let go of, what is currently anchoring you, what is currently, currently has you in a poor mental state, right?
Yeah.
These are the things you have to let go of. I always say, if your hands are full holding on to certain things, how will you receive? If
That's
you're
right.
holding on to negative things that are holding you back, things that people said to you, things that you even telling yourself, things that a spouse said to you, a mother, father, girlfriend, boyfriend, these things you're holding on to this. So when the blessing does come, when the opportunity to move does come, you gotta actually hold the rope or climb the ladder. You can't climb a ladder with your hands full.
Yes. Show me that.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You have to let go to be able to receive, to free yourself up so you can take advantage of opportunities as they come. And there are a lot.
Correct. And as just June Smith Simon said, people are turning hobbies into professions and teaching their skills online, and that is so true. Yeah. People businesses that they had running a particular way right now, it is making a big shift. It is shifting, and people realize now. I know of a couple of businesses, they have made their shift in terms of doing things online, which was traditionally a one-on-one facing thing, and they are actually more profitable doing their items online right now because of that shift. And granted, I mean, in the beginning they were bawling and saying, "Oh gosh, Lord, we can't take it no more," and all of these things like that. But once they detoxified, they were able to see, hey, I could go this way. Yeah.
Think clearer. When you let go, when you remove that film, clearer. You realize that there is opportunity that you weren't seeing before. Right? There's a guy, he's not a big web designer, anything like that. He creates small websites. And he saw the fact that everybody was going online, trying to create online businesses, trying to sell and whatnot. So he was looking at other sites, like stores that sell whatever trending products, right? Whether it's dog toys, whether it's things for home, these type of things. And he would go and create these mini sites, right? And then put the mini sites up for sale. So he went from seeing the need where, hey, everybody's going online, they want online stores, they don't know how to build one that's for themselves, but I will create these mini stores. Very easy to use, built already based on all these trending things that are selling, specific, so he's niching down for you as well. And he's just flipping stores. He's literally selling small online stores. Right? So he saw that, he took the skill that he has, and it's not just, like I said, he's not a big web designer, anything like that. He knows how to package stuff a little bit. It's operational. And he just, and he's selling mini websites like $1,000 US. Come on. But people will think, gosh, all the work I had to put into do this and prepare that, and I don't know, it might sell, people got money. You don't know that. People have been spending.
Yes.
People buying cars. You know what I'm saying?
That's the next thing, yeah.
You need to believe. Right? Yes, some still want to sit on their hands, Mr. Simon. Some want to keep it warm.
Yeah, keep it warm. And guess what? And by the time you're ready to use it, guess what? You have no feeling in your hands to grab anything. It come in and it's so numb. You cut off your own circulation from sitting on your own hand. I like that.
Doesn't look like that, So folks, I mean, as we're wrapping up tonight, we just wanted to have this very free conversation with you guys based on, looking at 2022, looking at people that are still sitting on their hands, looking at people that are still procrastinating, still wondering if or what they should do or what they can do during this last quarter, to make that change. Come on. And the whole thing is, the best time is now. Right?
Correct.
The best time is now, regardless of what. Once you believe in yourself and you know that you want to apply something to change your life, it doesn't matter where you are right now.
Correct.
Self-inspection, make your plans, look at the big goal that you want to achieve, break it into smaller steps, smaller actionable tasks,
Mhm.
right? Create that SMART goal that would actually help you achieve all those bigger things, that the other things, sorry, that make up the bigger picture, all right? And just apply them. Just apply them one by one. You don't have to do all at once. You're not trying to take over the world in one night like Pinky. And the brain, you're not doing that. All right. You're literally trying to tackle it one by one.
Great.
And you have between now and December, get that done. Don't worry about it. Because these will come. You still have time to enjoy it. But people look at it as well. You know, taken away from time where they get to enjoy certain things. Listen, you will have plenty of time to enjoy all the foods. All right.
Great. That is so true. And for persons who are looking at us on YouTube, we had done an episode some weeks ago with respect to building effective habits. And if it is that you want a quick link to that, you can click on the link right up here, and you can actually get to that video as well too, and that will actually help out as well with respect to effective habits. And at the end of this particular video, if you are on YouTube, you'll be able as well to see one of our videos across on this side here, all right here, which you'll be able to click on as well to, where we start dealing with the mindset aspect of it, because we have dealt with it. So we went into a deep dive with respect to that. So if it is we talk about the items here and you want certain deep dive-ins, yeah, go ahead and click on that link on that. Yeah, click on that video and you can start one time. All right. We have any parting words for the peeps here?
Well, my only, as always, I really just want people to believe in themselves a little more. Right? And I'm saying that because I was one at a time that used to actually believe in stuff I didn't believe. It was always something too large, always something that I black and poor from the good. I can't afford this, nobody would want to buy, you know. I had that mentality at one point, that mindset at one point, right? And I can tell you, even back then, you know, it didn't really take much to get me out of that space. All it took was for me to actually believe that I was worthy of actually getting what I wanted to achieve for myself.
Very much
That's
so.
all it took. And as soon as that entered my mind, everything changed.
Great.
Just believing yourself.
Yeah. And that belief is going to take you a long way with respect to everything that you do. So, folks, thank you so much for connecting with us. For those who are on Facebook Live, don't forget to really help out the channel a lot here on Facebook Live. Don't forget to share this video to as much persons as possible. You can go ahead and place this video on your timeline, so persons like your family, your friends, your frenemies, they can go on your timeline and look at this video that we have here on the conversation. Go ahead and share this on WhatsApp. And for those who are on YouTube, don't forget, continue to like, subscribe to our channel, and go ahead and share this with persons who may not be on Facebook. All right, so you just go ahead and share to as much people as possible. So guys, thank you so much for staying in tune.
Yes. Whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, please continue to adhere to all COVID regulations.
Oh yes.
Wash your hands, continue to practice social distancing, all right, and continue to wear your mask.
Yep.
All right.
And folks, please.
Join us again here next week.
Okay. And guys, continue. Be safe. Take care.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.